A fish swims up to a shrimp and says, "Hey, I heard you're a great musician." The shrimp goes, "Oh, you must have heard me on the shellophone." The fish laughs and says, "Nice. But do you know any whale songs?" Just then, a giant whale swims by and sings, "Ooh, I've got the blues, 'cause I'm stuck in this sea of responsibilities." The shrimp sighs. Yeah, he's been going through a krill life crisis.
Why did the fruit candy go to school? Because it wanted to be a little smarty. But it dropped out, turns out life was just too hard and chewy. Why did the fruit candy apply for a job? Because it wanted to make some sweet money. Why don't fruit candies ever get tired? Because they're always bursting with energy. Why don't fruit candies ever get lost? Because they always stick together. Why did the fruit candy blush? Because it saw the fruit roll up its sleeves. Why did the fruit candy fail the test? Because it kept chewing on the wrong answers. What do you call a really funny fruit candy? A Jolly Rancher. What's a fruit candy's favorite type of movie? Anything sweet and sour.
The science experiment that went too far. So, one day in science class, my teacher told us to do a simple experiment: make a homemade volcano using baking soda and vinegar. Easy, right? But, of course, I thought, I can make this epic. So instead of using a small cup like a normal person, I brought in an extra large soda bottle. Then I thought, more baking soda equals bigger explosion. Genius. The time came to test it. My classmates did their tiny, polite eruptions. PFFT, amateurs. I stepped up and dumped half a box of baking soda into my volcano. The teacher's eyebrow went up. My friend whispered, "Dude, are you sure about this?" I was so sure. I grabbed the bottle of vinegar, dramatically poured the whole thing in. And then, kaboom! It didn't just erupt, it exploded. Foam shot up like a rocket, hit the ceiling, and rained down on everyone. The classroom instantly smelled like a giant bag of salt and vinegar chips. My best friend got hit in the face. The teacher ducked. The janitor walked in, took one look, and just sighed. The principal? Oh yeah, she happened to walk by at the worst possible moment. She stood in the doorway, covered in foam, and said, "Detention. Now." Moral of the story? Just because something can explode doesn't mean it should. The Great Glue Disaster. So, in science class, we were supposed to make homemade slime using glue and borax. Easy, right? Well, not for me. I thought, more glue equals more slime. Genius, right? So I dumped in the whole bottle. Then I added too much borax, and suddenly, instead of slime, I had a solid brick of rubbery goo. I tried to pick it up, it stuck to my hands. I shook them, now it was on my face. My friend tried to help, now we were both stuck. The teacher just sighed and said, "Congratulations, you've discovered industrial strength glue." Moral of the story? Science is cool. Until you become part of the experiment. The Sandcastle Disaster. So, one summer, I decided to build the biggest sandcastle ever. Not just a little bucket castle, I wanted a full-on sand mansion. I spent hours digging, shaping, and even making little sand towers. People walked by and admired my masterpiece. I was feeling like the Leonardo da Vinci of sand. Then, just as I was putting the final shell on top, whoosh! A huge wave came out of nowhere and completely destroyed everything. I just stood there, covered in wet sand, looking like a sad human sand sculpture. My little cousin walked up, patted my shoulder, and said, "Well, at least it was nice while it lasted." Moral of the story? Never trust the ocean. It's the ultimate party crasher. The Great Crayon Escape. Little Timmy loved coloring, but his crayons? Not so much. They were always getting lost, under the couch, in his backpack, even inside the fridge once. One day, Timmy opened his crayon box and gasped. The crayons were gone. Instead, there was a tiny note. "Dear Timmy, we need a break. You keep breaking us, chewing on us, and leaving us without caps. We're going on vacation. See ya." Timmy searched everywhere. Then, in the middle of the night, he heard tiny whispers. He peeked under his bed. And there they were, having a pool party in a puddle of melted ice cream. Busted, the crayons froze, ironically. Timmy sighed, "Guys, can you at least color my math homework before you go?" And from that day on, He treated his crayons like royalty, mostly because he was afraid they'd run away again. One summer day, a kid was eating a bright red cherry popsicle. His little brother, staring at it longingly, said, "Can I have a bite?" The older sibling thought for a moment and replied, "Sure, just one bite." The little brother took the biggest bite imaginable. Half the popsicle was gone. The older sibling gasped and yelled, "I said one bite, not a chomp of betrayal." Moral of the story: never trust a little sibling with your popsicle. The Sassy Sandcastle. Jake spent all afternoon building the perfect sandcastle. But just as he finished, a tiny wave washed half of it away. Frustrated, Jake rebuilt it, even better this time. But right as he admired his work, a seagull landed on top and crushed it. Jake groaned, but then the remaining sandcastle whispered, "Bro, I'm just trying to live. Maybe build me somewhere drier?"